Hey guys, I'm in a leadership program because no one should ever stop growing. And they gave us a distinction last week that I absolutely love because it really put in words a concept that I had a lot of trouble wrapping my own head around for a very long time. So I'm hoping that sharing this with you will help you figure out your version of it. And the distinction is be, do, have versus have, do, be. And the old way of thinking, or my old way of thinking, was have, do, be. I used to think that I had to have X in order to do Y and be Z, right? So I had to, let's say, have the perfect body in order to call myself a health and wellness role model and be a health coach, and then be the person who I really wanted to be, right? And be that role model, be that inspirational person. So that's what I thought I needed to have and be and do. And the real distinction, right? So that's kind of like a way of living from fear, if you will, because you're never going to be this unless you have this. And there are all these excuses of why you don't have this yet, whether it's money or family or whatever it is. So the be, have, do version of that is I'm going to be the person that I want to be so that I do the things that that person does, right, that I want to be doing, and then I can have what I want to have from that. So in my case, that is, I'm going to be a health and wellness role model so that I can do my health coaching and the work that inspires me and hopefully inspires other people so that I can have the life that I want. So notice that that have actually has nothing to do with my body, whereas the other version, the first thing I needed to have was the perfect body, which, you know, we all know that doesn't need to happen. So what I want to share with you is this quick story that happened to me this morning. I went to yoga class in a bathing suit this morning, and I did that because I like to stretch myself in order to stay in this mindset of be, do, have, because it is really easy to revert back into the old have, do, be mindset, where you feel like you're not good enough, right? So I was able to pull myself out of that concept of I need to have a certain type of body in order to do the work that I want to do and have the life I want to have, right? So I was able to pull myself out of that and recognize that I have been eating really well for a very long time. I know a lot about health. I know a lot about fitness, even though I don't consider myself a fitness professional. I know a lot about it. I have been living this lifestyle for a very long time and able to impart knowledge and important information on people, and yet, you know, thinking that I still wasn't good enough to actually be a health and wellness role model. So to make sure that I stay in that mindset of like, yes, I can, and yes, I am that person that I imagine and that I envision, I do things like this to keep myself in that mindset. So I went to the yoga class and I saw myself in positions that I had only up until this morning seen in my mirror in my bedroom. And I will say this, I think that this is really, really interesting. When I'm in my room, it's really easy to criticize, right? It's easy to criticize my fat, my cellulite, my color, my muscular legs. Like, it's just criticize, criticize, criticize. I'm in my comfort zone. I'm in a place that I'm used to being mentally, physically, emotionally, and so nothing changes there. But when I took that and I brought it into a yoga room and I brought it into public, it actually, it did shift, and it kind of had to shift. So I knew why I was doing it, right? I had this intentional reason for going to yoga in my bathing suit. And I even like didn't bring any clothes with me to make sure that I didn't, you know, put anything on at the last minute and like, you know, chicken out. So I was very intentional about what I was going to do and why. And as I was doing these postures in public and seeing myself in the mirror, I really noticed my thoughts shifting from what they typically are in my bedroom, right? So like, there's the cellulite again. Yep, that's what my legs look like, you know, to this place of like, I wonder if anybody else is even noticing. I, you know, start looking around the room a little bit, kind of feeling like I hope that the rear view isn't awful. And shifting from that into, yeah, this is my body and I love it and I'm proud of it. And I'm not going to hate on it. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not going to cover it up 24/7 because I don't think that it's worthy of being shown, you know? So the reasons we do things is really important. I like to get dressed up. I like to feel good in my clothes. I like to go out feeling great, and that's a reason that I dress up. But, and that does its job, right? Like, I walk out of my place and I feel great. That's not a stretch for me. It used to be a stretch. That's not a stretch for me anymore because now I know what to wear. I know what fits my body well. I enjoy wearing these kinds of clothes. So then there's always another level, right? There's always a way to up-level that place of comfort. And so going to yoga class this morning in my bikini was definitely a level up from that. And it was really fun because when we were done, I was in the changing room and I was talking to this girl, and her name was Cachet. Her name was Cachet. And I was talking to her and she just said, "I'm inspired." And I was like, "Thank you." And, you know, she said she typically would never, she was watching me in class. She was sitting right next to me, and she was thinking while we were in class how cool it is that I was just there in a bathing suit. And she was thinking that she was so hot, like in her yoga pants, because it's a really hot day today. And anyway, so she was inspired. Girl was 27 years old. And so she said out loud to me, she was like, "I want to do that." And I looked at her and I said, "All right, you just said you want to do it, right?" And she said, "Yeah." And I was like, "Okay, then when are you going to do it?" And she was, "Oh, what do you mean, when I'm going to do it?" So I was holding her accountable to, "Okay, when are you going to go to yoga class in a bikini?" And so finally, after not too long, she was like, "Okay, I'm going to go on this date at this time, and she's going to wear a bathing suit." And I'm so excited for her because the experience of that, it's not about the other people, it's really not about appropriate and inappropriate. It's okay, I think, to do some inappropriate things as long as it's not hurting other people or disturbing other people, and getting you out of your comfort zone into that place of being. Because if you can start being today, then the doing and the having come naturally. They have to come. That's the only way to, that equation actually works. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that, you can identify this with something in your life that you would like to be or do or have. And I encourage you to come from that first place that you can think of. So for some of you, it's going to also be, I wish I could have the perfect body, right? Or I wish I could have money, or I wish I could have this house, or whatever it is that you want to have, and start reversing that, right? So start thinking about who you need to be in order to have those things. And if maybe you need to be in the mindset of abundance, maybe you need to be an inspiring person, maybe you need to be a more generous person. So start from that place that you need to be, and then reverse engineer and see what it ends up being that you actually end up having, that you get to have. And typically, I think it ends up as really the life that you want, because all the things that you intentionally be should bring you towards the life that you want. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you soon.